What a beautiful day for a walk. Just me and Mother Nature. Oh! Oh, do I really have to go round this? Maybe I can... Yeah, I reckon I can make it. All right, ready? Huh! Ah! Did I just break a bone? Welcome back everybody to Minecraft The Journey with me, BugmanCX. We're in beta 1.9, pre-release 6, almost ready for our dragon fight. We're not going to be doing it in this version, we're going to wait until release 1.0 so that I can take on the dragon and slay it, or knowing me, I'll probably die many times. But, you know, that's all part of the fun of the game. Before we get to that version, we're going to spend today's episode looking at all the things in between pre-release 6 and 1.0, and I hope by next episode, we'll be able to slay the dragon. You, notice anything different about these sand blocks? These grass blocks? No? What about now? That's right, between pre-release 5 and 6, the side texture of the grass was changed, and the sand block was changed. Can you tell? One of Notch's original visions for the game is that you'd be able to use mods, and through this menu system we've always had this button here, mods and texture packs. But if you click this, you only get taken to the texture pack menu, and I guess mod support was always planned for the future. And there are plenty of mods around for this period as well, loads and loads of them in fact, but you can't use any of them through this system, you have to load them all in outside of the game. Now that we're getting closer to release 1.0, mod support isn't coming, officially, so now this button just says texture packs. In beta 1.9 pre-release 6, the efficiency system for the tools has been changed so that when you use efficiency on a tool that isn't the appropriate tool for the task at hand, you still get a real efficiency bonus, much faster than using your fist, and it's a little overpowered, maybe a little too overpowered. Now I've got all the best tools for the job. I've got efficiency 5 on each of my tools. Here I've got a couple of rows of logs, so let's take out the trusty old axe and time how long it takes to chop these 5 logs. Ready? Pretty good, pretty quick. Now let's switch to the shovel and see how fast this thing is. Not bad, actually pretty good. So considering I've only got 9 slots down here on my hotbar, why would I want to fill it up with tools I don't need to use? I could just use one tool for everything. But now it's getting to that time again. You know the time when we've run out of things to look at in this version. And we're going to move up now to version 1.0 RC1. RC stands for release candidate, so it's not officially release 1.0 yet, but it is the first release candidate, the first version that may be considered for 1.0. There are in fact 2 of them, so we know that this won't be the last. But before we upgrade, there's something that we need to experience for, unfortunately, the very last time. Oh. 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 That's right, some things are changing. Oh, it's getting real now. We're in Minecraft RC1, Release Candidate 1. We also have a quit game button, which I've never seen before. Apparently, this button was in the game's code, but didn't always appear depending on how the game was loaded. Not really sure about that, but it is here now, and that's a bit more convenient because it is annoying having to shut down the game using the close buttons on the window or Alt F4 or any other means. So let's go back into our world and see if anything's different. Look at that. Everything's looking great. I can't believe we're actually in Minecraft Release Candidate 1. Anyway, let's head back to the base. Ow! 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 Oh! Ah! Oh! Oh! Ah! I might have to take the next couple of days off. That's right, Release Candidate 1 makes all sorts of changes to the game's sounds, including adding some new sounds for some mobs and some actions that never had sounds before, or didn't have proper sounds at least. But probably the most famous change of all is this one, of course. Oh, I gotta stop doing that. Of course, the pain sound has been changed, and the reason it was changed to this sort of bone cracking sound, which to me sounds pretty disgusting, is because the ooh sound we had in previous versions was just too masculine, and Minecraft wanted to move away from having anything gender specific, so away went the male sounding ooh sound, and in came the bone cracks. But actually those hideous cracking sounds only apply to fall damage. Other types of damage just make a kind of ticking sound. So if we get into a little bit of hand-to-hand combat with this zombie here, you can hear that the damage I'm taking is now sort of a clicking sound. Oh, that's enough, that's enough. Oh no, oh. One of the more strange things about this new fall damage bone cracking sound is that not only does it apply to the player, but it applies to any mob taking fall damage. So when skeletons drop inside my XP farm, they make a bone cracking sound as well. That might be okay for the skeletons. They are made of bones, but does it really make sense for spiders? Creepers? Now the more observant among you might have noticed that ever since we upgraded to RC1, my sword durability has been looking weird. Here I've got all of my tools, my axe is about 1/5 of the way down, my shovel has no durability damage taken, my pick is about just over halfway, and my sword, well, my sword is really weird because the little durability bar seems to be almost entirely full, and that's how it should be because it's basically a new sword. But the color of the durability is this red color, and that to me indicates durability very, very low. But why is the bar so full? The length of the bar should be proportionate to the amount of durability remaining. What's going on? For reference, here's how things looked in Beta 1.9 pre-release 6. You'll notice that the durability bar looks normal, it's about 3/4 of the way full, it's green, everything is looking fine. As soon as we upgraded to RC1, this is how it appeared. The durability is exactly the same. I've not used this sword since we upgraded. And in fact, if we take a peek inside of the level.dat file, you'll see the durability level, and it's exactly the same, unchanged between both versions. RC1 introduces a new sound effect and an animation for whenever a tool breaks. Maybe that's got something to do with it, but why is my durability at an all-time low with the bar being so far full? Now, Notch, if I lose this sword, you owe me a new Looting 3 Sharpness 5 Fire Aspect 2 sword. I'm sorry, but it was really expensive. Now, if I'm right, I'm going to lose the sword with one hit to this zombie. Let's watch out for the animation and see if we can hear the new sound. You saw it, right? The diamonds kind of smashed away in front of me and we had a new breaking sound. And now I've got to make a new sword. Now, interestingly, this sword thing appears to be a bug. So here in creative mode, we can have a look at how much durability a diamond sword has at the moment. Hello, zombie. We've got 1, 2, 3. Look how quickly that durability is going down. 4, and you're dead. 1 more, and I think this thing's gone. Let's go over here to you, zombie. 1 more. 6. Just 6 hits, and that sword is gone. Useless. I want my money back. Speaking of durability and speaking of bugs as well, Notch actually said that the fact that bows don't have any durability is indeed a bug. He said on this release, new sounds have been added and a few bugs, including the Infini bows, have been fixed. Now, more bug fixing. Yeah, please, more bug fixing. Let's go and test out this bow and see if we now lose durability when we use it. Here's a zombie, a good candidate for a bit of bowing. Oh, look at that, we've dropped our durability of this bow down by 1. It looks like there's plenty of durability on this bow, but I assume that just like all of the other weapons, the more we use this, the more that durability will just go down, and then eventually the bow will break. One of the other things about the bow is you might notice that there's a new sound effect for the arrows. The last bow sound was kind of harsh, but now we've got this. kind of more wispy sound. And in fact, as the arrow flies, it sounds much more like an arrow being fired out of a bow, frankly. The other one, I don't know what was going on with the other one. That arrow twang's also new. With no more infini bows, I want to see exactly how much durability these bows now have. Archers at the ready. Aim. Fire. About 384 uses. Not too bad, I suppose. But, oh, my fingers ache. Listen to all that food behind me. Oh, they are so loud. Yes, sounds for food and drink have been added to the game, and I'm not talking about these things behind me which turn into food, but actually the food items themselves. So if we turn around here and get ourselves a drink, let's start with a drink. I'm going to, excuse me, thank you. Oh, I need to move away from them because my sounds are up very loud for all of this today, and oh, they're noisy. We should hear sounds now if we drink this bucket of milk. Wow, look, that is amazing. So let's see if the same thing applies to a potion. Do we now get the same effects with potions? We sure do. Sound effects have now been added for eating food items as well, but there's some weird stuff going on with eating right at the moment, and I want to take a closer look at it. So first, I've got some of this zombie flesh. Zombie flesh, as we know, will usually make you hungry. So if I eat one of these, we can hear the new eating sounds. And as you can see, it's given me all these swirlies and it's made me hungry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add my food statistics straight from the game's level.dat file up on screen. We've got my food level, which is the amount of hunger haunches that I've currently got. Food tick timer, I don't know what that does. Food exhaustion level, I don't know what that does. And my food saturation level. And my food saturation level is really important because when my saturation is at 0, then my food level starts to decrease and I get hungrier and hungrier. My food saturation level can go above 0. In fact, it can go all the way up to 20. And then as it starts to count back, once it reaches 0, that's when my hunger starts to kick in. So if I eat another one of these, you should see some statistics change. You can see my food saturation level is decreasing and it's gone back down to 0 very, very quickly. So I gained some saturation from eating the zombie flesh, but it went down really quickly because I've got this really annoying hunger effect. So let me just wait for that to pass and we'll have a look at what's going on when I try and eat these pork chops. Right, so I'm back to somewhat normal now. Now if I eat a pork chop, we get our beautiful new sound effect, and it's brought my hunger up to full, and my food saturation level is now 12.8. That means that I shouldn't be able to eat any more pork chops because my hunger haunches are full. My food level is at 20. I can only eat more food if it is lower than 20. But here at the moment, I can continue to eat. And I can keep on eating well past this. You'll see that my food saturation level just reached 20, and that's the maximum. But even though my food level's still 20, I can still eat. Now, what I was really curious to see is if my saturation level would go past 20 because I was able to keep eating and eating and eating, but unfortunately it doesn't. I really wanted to push that up super, super high and see if it would be possible for me to get something like infinite saturation or thereabouts, but sadly not. On the day that RC1 came out, Notch made some random comment about making an entire portion of food disappear, and how ironic that you can do that in-game because of a bug. Well, since I need to get a new sword anyway, I know of one sound effect that's changed. So, what do you think? Rummaging through your chests to find things just got really annoying. Are you telling me I'm going to have to oil every single one of these hinges? But the sounds aren't the only change to chests. You can now place them on top of each other and still access the chest beneath another chest. This is revolutionary for my storage rooms. I'll be able to start designing more compact storage rooms that help me access my items more efficiently. Sadly, it's still not possible to place chests right next to other chests. You have to leave a 1-block gap in between them, and this includes if you want to place chests in front of other chests like this as well. There has to be a 1-wide gap. This is really annoying because if you want to place chests like this and make yourself a storage room which has access to chests from the side angle like this, you have to leave a 1-wide gap in between them like this, and that's just really inefficient. Doors and trapdoors got new sounds that they both share. Am I going to have to oil your hinges too? Up until pre-release 6, the mining time of obsidian was 15 seconds. In pre-release 6, it got brought down all the way to 2.5 seconds. In Minecraft RC1, it's been brought back to about 9.5 seconds. So I made sure that in pre-release 6, I did all of my obsidian mining that I'll ever need. The sounds for throwing things like snowballs got much softer. This also applies to eggs. But now, when you throw eggs, if it hatches a baby chicken, you'll actually get a baby chicken. Explosions got an overhaul as well, going from this to this. A few mobs also got brand new sounds. Silverfish no longer sound like spiders. Ah! Blaze now have their own ambient breathing noises. Magma cubes get new sounds too. Even if it does sound a little bit like the old slime sound. At least it's theirs. Perhaps most notably are the overhauled sounds for the Enderman. When the Endermen were introduced in Beta 1.8, they shared the same sounds as the zombies. In Beta 1.9, at some point their sounds were disabled, and in RC1, they get their very own range of sounds. This makes the Enderman even more mysterious, but there's still more to this. Inspecting the game's files reveals that some of the audio samples in their raw form are longer than we hear them in-game. Some additional sounds were also added to the resources folder for the Enderman, but not included in the gameplay just yet. Hold on to your pants for these. Whew. But that's not even the end of this weirdness. The Endermen are a strange, unworldly creature with a mysterious and unknown backstory. They appear randomly in the overworld, and they dominate the end. They teleport around and drop ender pearls that you can use to teleport yourself, and when combined with blaze powder, they become the Eye of Ender, which you can use to find the stronghold. And of course, in the stronghold, you can repair the ancient portal with Eyes of Ender to take you through to the end. Some say that the Endermen are trying to communicate with us, but what do you think? The sounds for the Enderman were created by taking recordings of vocals made by Notch and C418, reversing and filtering them to give them that iconic sound. Although, despite C418 having talked about the game's music and sounds in many different interviews, he's never spoken much about the Enderman sounds that I could find, leaving them to be just one more mystery. Well, there's one more job left to do in this episode. Well, two actually. First, I've got to replace my busted sword, and the second job, upgrade to Release Candidate 2, the last version before Release 1.0. we've made it to Minecraft Release Candidate 2. But hold on, incoming tweet. According to Jeb, multiplayer doesn't work in this version. And it looks like there's a replacement. All right, let's move to it. All right, we've now made it to Minecraft Release Candidate 2. Or at least I think we have. Did you notice this before? The version still says RC1. What's that all about? Notch. Forgot to change the version number to RC2. We're professional. Right. And I see Jeb's posted that there's a replacement already. Well, we might as well move to it. This is it, I suppose, officially now, Release Candidate 2, the last version before the big release 1.0. Whew, we've come so far in this series, haven't we? This version has very minor updates to it. I have re-enchanted my sword here, but the durability bug from the last version has now been fixed. Also, the issue where I could eat infinitely has now also been fixed. And one other minor thing, which is a little bit strange, but the 3D blocks in the inventory have now got shadows. I don't know why this was added to this version, but it has. Well, now that we've reached this milestone, I hope you'll join me in the next episode. Hopefully we'll be able to slay that dragon or something, and I'll see everybody there, I hope. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my wonderful patrons for supporting me, and have a great day. I'll see everybody in the next episode. Until then, this has been BugmanCX. You've been watching Minecraft The Journey. Bye-bye.